What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Go There podcast. I already know what you're thinking. Where are you? This podcast never planned to be stationary, baby. I left my home, I put some real pants on, and I'm here. This is my first episode on a series that I want to start called Business Owner Backstories. Today's episode and first guest is super special to me. He's the one that got me started with my podcast. A conversation between him and I sparked the fire under my behind to get the dang thing going. We were having a conversation one day about you can be in a grocery store and see one item at $10 and one item at $13, and most people are going to buy the $10 item, but when you hear the backstory and see the face and you put the dollar value to somebody, it changes everything. So this conversation I had with him changed everything for me. It started this podcast, so I'm so excited to introduce you guys to my dear friend Ty from Ty's Guilt-Free Pies today.
Interstage left with a this. I love this. I love this.
All right, Ty, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for agreeing to do the first guest episode. I'm kind of nervous about this, y'all. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know.
It's going to be fun.
But we're going to eat some pies today. He has some good stuff, and then we're going to get the backstory on who he is, how his business got started, and the whole thing. Before we get into business, who are you really?
I am really Tyler Wilson, Ty's Guilt-Free Pies, the humble pie guy. I've always been a guy of many nicknames and stuff like that, but that's me now. I'm Ty. My name is actually Tyler, but most of the people in the pie world refer to me as Ty because it is Ty's Guilt-Free Pies.
Ty's Guilt-Free Pies.
Ty, the pie guy.
It's not a fictional character, y'all. This really is the man with the plan. So where are you from originally?
So I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Right here, we're standing Duval.
Yeah.
So I am a native. I've been here my entire life. We're in San Marco area right now. I grew up in Arlington over the bridge.
Oh, hell yeah. What were you doing before you ever owned a business?
So, wow. I mean, I've always been a cook. All right. So I've always been a cook. Worked in lines and restaurants on and off. I was actually working at my buddy's hardware store right before I started this.
What?
And then before that, my life's been kind of chaotic for sure. I was doing a lot of things, but I've always been a cook. But I was never a baker. That's the fun irony behind all of this is the fact that to this day I still can't bake you a cookie. Couldn't bake you a cookie. Couldn't make you a cake. But here we are holding these tiny little happy frozen pies.
I've tried your pies before. Matter of fact, I want to take a bite of this one now. What flavor? You said it's a cheesecake?
So this is the new hotness. This is the maple cinnamon. I've done a maple one before,
Smells good.
but I put extra cinnamon in this one because it just seemed like the right thing to do because I just like to make stuff up as I go. And this is the beauty part about the cheesecake pies. My menu is basically set. Now, in the beginning, I was just throwing strawberries and key limes and pineapple, and I was just making up, and the recipes that are on the current menu right now just kind of stuck.
Yeah, because I've had your pies before, and they are sweet. So if they don't have, like, what you mean, like refined sugar, and they sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So where it tastes sugar.
Yeah, so it's unrefined organic coconut sugar, monk fruit, and natural sugar.
It tastes sugar.
So you have natural sweeteners, a combination of those two things. Agave, honey, these certain things. In the protein balls, you got the dates and stuff like that. So the idea is to balance the sugar out because sugar is sugar either which way you throw it. But my big thing is also non-processed stuff. Like when you go in the store and you buy something and it says 0 sugar and you read the back and all the ingredients that are in there, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on in there. You see a lot of X's and Z's.
Thank you.
My theory is if I'm reading a label and I'm looking at the ingredients and
X's and Z's?
When I see X's and
Bro.
Z's or things that I can't pronounce, I'm out. Okay, and that usually is because it's stuff that's made in a lab.
No, that makes sense. Because that's why I'm glad I'm working on being a little interviewer, okay? Working on my questions, but I'm glad you understand what I meant because they taste so sweet. Like, and I know it's like no refined sugar. So I was like, how does it get so sweet? Because I'm trying to kick my little sugar habit at the moment. But
Your resolution solution, right? And that's the idea is to
resolution
Resolution is beginning of the year, and the idea too is to create something that is actual whole foods. It tastes like dessert. It looks like dessert. we enjoy it like dessert, but we eat pies for breakfast. I've got moms in Atlantic Beach that feed their kids blueberry pies for breakfast. And these kids will run to school and tell their friends how they get to eat blueberry pies for breakfast.
What does your mom feed you? I get blueberry pie.
Blueberry pie.
No, that ass. The crust on these is so good. What crust is like this crust?
So that's the signature crust. That's the OG. And that is almonds, walnuts, pecans, chia seeds, flax seeds, coconut oil, cacao, cinnamon, nutmeg.
I like all of that. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if I like it when you make it.
And that's what, and I know you like these. These are actually, I do pies and proteinies. That's what we call them, proteinies. They're little balls of crust. That crust was so popular when I was in research and development. And all my friends are like, we just want to eat your crust all the time. So what did I do? I took the dates and plums and I started to make these guys. And then that started a whole new thing.
You went from hardware to pie slinger.
Yeah, exactly. And I just, so yeah, the whole thing, how did I get here, right? So I had changed my life. I was on a healing of mind, body, and spirit. And I was really looking at my health. My health was horrible.
As you should. As we all should.
6 years ago, I was near death. I was in a bad spot. Where did I come from? I had 35 cents to my name. I was done with life. I had given up. And there were some changes, some major changes that happened. And as my spirit healed and my mind healed, I started focusing on my body. So I was into food science, and I created a diet that works for me. All these ingredients are the triple berry goat cheese pie. You know about that one. That's the OG, the original goat.
That was the first one I ever tasted. Yeah. And it's so funny because I meet these business owners like Ty, and they put me on to things that if I was at a store, I would never like goat cheese. If you asked me if I like goat cheese, I'd say no. But I was eating up a whole pie with goat cheese.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known the difference.
I think when you were sick, right? I did the same thing. Like two days later, it
brought me back
crazy.
To life.
It did. It did.
It revived me. But if someone, from hardware to pies, if somebody met you before you were a business owner, how would they describe you? Yeah. If somebody who knew you when you were at that stage, like 10 years ago, how would they have described you?
Wild.
You never thought you'd be here?
Off the chain. Yeah, I was wild. I've always had integrity. I've always been a stand-up guy, but I was wild. Used to say, and that's why we out here hustling pies now, We're trying to bring good health back to the world and restore all of the chaos that was caused as a result. So
exactly.
These ingredients were just a healthy diet that worked for me, and I just turned them into this. Inspiration from the powers that be, and I just started playing with it, and everybody's like, I put cacao in there, right?
In here?
Yeah, so cacao is chocolate before it's chocolate, and it's one of the healthiest things on the planet. And it's actually, this idea was manifested and spoken into existence on my first ever ceremonial cacao.
Wow, and I've heard about those.
Yeah, so ceremonial cacao, and we won't get into that, but needless to say, I was drinking it with a friend, and she goes...
That's for part 2.
Yeah, and she goes, you should go to the market and sell these. You could call it Ty's Pies. And here we stand.
And you're like... Actually.
Yeah, and I started hustling $5 pies out of the apartment, and it just continued to grow and grow. And where am I at? What am I thinking? And I'm like, I'm going to go to RAM, and I'm going to sell pies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the cottage food law, and I'm going to sell pies bake these pies at my house and sell them for $5 at RAM. As it turns out, I'm not a cottage food. I have to have a commercial kitchen. And then it is very difficult to get into RAM, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I grow, I evolve. #pie evolution.
Oh, yeah. What was the scariest part of starting?
The scariest part of starting? Well,
way he just looked at me.
Yeah, I guess I'm an all-in guy. And this whole thing happened, I was at the hardware store, and I was comfortable. I had a good job. It was my buddy's hardware store. And breaking away from that and breaking the attachment from that, but there was a guy that was working there, and he was being a royal pain in my butt and trying to make my life miserable after I got him a job there.
Look at him now, guy.
Yeah, but no, it's funny because he was like a little angel, because we've had that conversation. Yeah. He made my life miserable enough to make me go and do this because I'm experimenting. But the scary, there's lots of scary parts, and I guess for me, like I am a perfectionist, and I'm very OCD, so little things will happen, and it'll stick with me. And I had this one scary part for a week where I'm worried about this, and I'm in my own head, and then next thing you know, get through that one, and it turns out not to be a big deal, and then it happens again next week. It's something else. It's like the universe just needs to keep me on my toes almost, but it is a constant.
Psych.
And it's faith over fear, right? I guess for me, I really had to have faith that the inspiration that was given to me was leading me in the right direction. It went from like fear to like, okay, I know what to do. But then there's also fear goes in different directions. It's like, I have this, but now what do I do with it? Because I'm not ready for this. If I go and try to sell this at a small scale at a market, somebody else who already has the kitchen and has the production is going to be like, oh, why aren't we doing that?
It's like that little voice in like the back of your head.
Yep.
Like everybody has it. It's like the imposter syndrome, as they call it. Like whenever you finally get thrusted into what you're always dreamed of, you're like, oh snap, like am I actually ready for this? Like what is happening?
Yeah, and you definitely, I think the question that we kind of fumbled on was did I always inspire to be a business owner? My dream was to be a writer.
Really?
Yeah, it was to
What?
write.
I never knew. I'm learning so much about him.
There
Like
you go.
I need to do this with more people. I'm learning more about you in like the last few minutes, 30 minutes than I have like the last 30 days. This is awesome. I didn't know that you were aspiring to be a writer. That is just so interesting to me. All right, so now I want to get into a few questions that are like about the offline version of you. Because a lot of people, they see business owners when you're at the markets. They see you when they show up to buy stuff. They see you online, but they don't see behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So what is something people don't see behind the scenes at Ty's Free Pies?
Yeah, so like involving the pies or just me as a person. I mean, there's a lot of different ways this could go for sure.
Yeah.
Even though I sell vegan pies, I'm a big fisherman. I think I sent you some videos. I love the outdoors. I love being out there. That's part of the reason why I guess markets resonate so well with me.
Right.
Is the fact that you're outdoor and the people and the energy, and that's the realm of the unseen is things that people don't see, and I truly believe in that stuff. I believe that there are forces, there's energy, and how's it always put, and in religion we call it spirits, and in the streets we call it vibes, in science we call it energy, but it's there for me. It's there and it exists, and that's the stuff that we don't see is where everything is actually happening.
Love that. You said in the streets they call it...
In the streets they call it vibes, in science they call it, in religion they call it spirits, in science they call it energy.
In the streets they call it...
I think I have a meme also in this
Dude,
video.
okay, well in the streets they call it...
Vibes.
In the science, they call it
Energy. In religion, they call it spirits.
I like that.
Whatever you
the
call
religion.
it, just trust it.
Hell yeah. What is the hardest part of owning a business that no one talks about?
Yeah. Everything. For me, I guess it's particular for me. Social media, I love it. I was walking and somebody came up to me the other day and they were like, I love it when I'm having a conversation with somebody who has a 9 to 5 and they start talking about their day off. And I'm like, day off? That does not exist.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, well, what's a day off? I don't know what that is.
Who's she?
And I guess what's hard too is, for me, I'm about being in my own awareness and becoming the thinker of the thinker, the observer of my own thinking mind, and being present in the moment. And owning a business, there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of noise that will happen in my mind. It's hard to slow my mind down and get in that meditation type phase because there's always so many moving pieces and there's so much worry and doubt and fear that comes in because you never know what's going to happen. Is this going to go wrong? I mean, this thing is very fragile. We discussed a story about recently. And bless her heart, she helps me, and she was making these a little too big. And I got caught up in the moment. And after the holidays and the social media, and next thing you know, all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. Where'd all the money go?
Where's my profit margins?
Yeah, where'd all the money go?
Why are they so slim?
And it was a cost of doing business and learning and growing, and that's what this is truly about. But that there's a lot of other things happening that you don't realize, and especially when you're a one-man show. You know, there's so many other aspects, whether it be down to making the pies. It's not just making the pies, it's driving
Right.
to the market, setting up for the market, it's social media, it's worrying about the numbers, it's everything. And that's why you start small, and then eventually you have people to help you do that. But I'm not
Yeah,
quite there yet.
you're not just the cashier, you're not just the what you call
Cook.
that? The cook, you're not just the dishwasher, you're not just the vendor, you're not just the social media, you're not just the manager, you are all.
Everything. And with that comes the problems with each individual job.
Correct. Different
So,
hats, many different hats.
Yeah, and then
All
that
under
and
one scope, you
many
know?
different hats, and I love that because more heads for things to be spinning around in a little squirrel cage in my head,
Right.
worried about this and that, and you know,
All on one person's shoulders,
right?
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just, even me, I do the same thing, but I never really thought of it like that. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm just social media, but no, I'm so.
And honestly, I never, like, I love this metaphor that we're creating right now because we're definitely going to have to use it later on, but I never really thought about how many hats are worn and then the problems that come with that in that context that we just kind of spoke into existence real quick.
This
you
is
know?
why we're doing this.
That's
man.
why we're doing it.
Have you ever thought about quitting with all that pressure? Have you ever thought about quitting?
Yes, yes, it does
Fuck it.
happen. Yeah, and I honestly, and I was telling you the story, we were just talking about the balls being too big and everything that happened with that. Yeah, we don't hear about that, but yeah.
That's usually not a problem.
Yeah, the protein,
Just
yeah, but
kidding.
sometimes it is. Sometimes you gotta go see the doctor when that happens. But needless to say,
No, but for real.
yeah, for real, side note. But no, there was a time where I could see and I knew something was going on and I couldn't quite pinpoint it. Of course, the cost of nuts are through the roof right now, and it's really difficult
Yeah.
because I'm a nutty guy and all of my stuff is nuts. I use very
I
expensive
didn't think about
ingredients.
that. I didn't think of. Well, I mean, like I know, like I'm a pistachio lover. Them things are high, but
Mm-hmm.
cashews high. Every freaking walnuts, pecans, all terribly high. Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
walnuts have doubled since I started this
What?
in 2 years.
In 2 years.
2 years.
Talk about inflation. What
Yeah. So it's
inflation
tough.
across the nation.
I can't just make pies at my house and just decide to do Sunday market because
Right.
it's my best market. You know, I'm all in on this thing.
It's kind of like the part of being human, though, right? Like part of it is like I feel like everybody, no matter what their job is, what they do, everybody just has a moment where they want to throw their hands up. They're like, I can't take it no more. And it's like sometimes after like a good night of sleep and a good meal, you're like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go back to work. Like I'm good, but it's just
That voice of intuition, though.
Yeah.
It puts me back in check real quick. Well, what was I saying? That all of my worry seems to happen in the past.
right.
And all of my anxiety happens in the future. But yet, in this moment, this is where everything exists.
All is well in this moment. All is well.
Yeah, and even when the future gets here, it'll be the moment anyway. So,
True.
you know, why am I even worried about it? I have no control over it.
Well, what's like the biggest lesson that owning a business has taught you? Because obviously it's taught you how to have some resilience, some trust, some patience with the universe, God, whatever you guys want to call it. Like what's the biggest lesson owning a business has taught you?
And that, speaking of that divine deal, is faith. Faith in that force, whatever you call him or her. You know, I mean, and just because faith is constantly growing, and trust,
Right.
and like that is the lesson. And I believe the way that I work with the universe and my own personal experiences, I'm a huge fan of having to relearn my own lessons. And I've mentioned I do little pro bono talks, and I go and I speak to some adult children who are not in a good place in life, and I can take my own personal story of my own personal turnaround, and that's the beautiful part about my past being so crazy, as I so
Right.
succinctly put it earlier, is all that struggle, all that darkness, all of that, I can convert to a valuable asset. And my story, and that's in my connection.
Beautiful.
And it is because for me, my motivation is behind the fact that everything happening here,
Right.
and Ty's Guilt-Free Pies is an underdog story, is a testament to what I've overcome. And in turn, I can take that and I can convert that into my story, into
strength.
my testimony to help inspire people, or to help people that are going through the same thing.
It becomes a strength, and it allows you to be able to have a greater like scope or range of people that you are able to work with, because you've seen people from all different walks of life. I mean, selling pies for breakfast for kids on Atlantic Beach. He doesn't get much more bougie than that. But then there's also a flip side where you're able to go and inspire people and be like, hey, I might have been right where you are. Look at me today. Like all you gotta do is a little faith, a lot of trust, a little resilience, consistency, a little make you a little pie.
Yeah.
You know.
What is faith? Belief in something that I cannot see. Trust in something that I cannot prove.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's what people don't see. That's why I'm doing this podcast, man. I'm telling y'all, this is the type of stuff you don't see. And then that actually leads beautifully into my next question for you is I was going to ask, how has owning a business changed you as a person?
Yeah. And faith and more faith.
Yeah.
I'm constantly growing. Yeah, so it's changed a lot. I believe in the evolution of everything, and I talk about #pie evolution because it's not just the pies. It's not just the recipes evolving into what they are today. The evolution is my social media now. Me trying to learn because I was not this is my first smartphone.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
When did you get it?
I was off the grid.
That is off the grid.
When I discovered Pandora.
When you got that?
And I was telling people, I was sitting at the bus stop telling somebody about Pandora, and they were like, "Dude, Pandora is so 2017."
Wait, when did you get your phone?
That phone I've had for about a year now.
So you were telling people about Pandora in 2025?
Not quite. No, this is
my bad. 2024.
Yeah, this is probably 23, 22. This is before all this happened. I've held on to that one smartphone.
Everyone in the pandemic is freaking out. Imagine this. Everyone in the pandemic is freaking out, and Ty is over here like, guys, have y'all heard of Pandora?
Have you heard of Pandora?
I just discovered.
It's fantastic. You can listen to whatever song you want. It creates your own radio. It builds you a playlist. I mean, I knew about some, but more of the story. Me and technology are not good.
This is so funny, dude. I'm so glad we're friends.
Learning social media has been a challenge. I mean, when I talk about this turning point in my life, when I decided to turn my life around, I'd never had a Facebook. I've never had a MySpace account. I couldn't even tell you about MySpace.
Dude,
I had a what's on 96.9. What's the account? Like I went fishing, and what's the lady's name?
I grew up half of my childhood is social media, so this is just so funny for me to hear someone most people are like, especially kids younger than me, they're so ingrained. So it's so funny, like. What a blessing that is to be so unplugged, I'm just too brain rot, like.
Right.
What a blessing it is to just discover Pandora during the pandemic.
Right.
He's like, the pandemic.
I never had a Facebook.
No, that's so interesting.
I didn't get my first Facebook account till I was like 40.
No, I mean, that's so interesting though. And it makes sense because there are better things offline anyways. But it kind of just ties in. It teaches you so much about yourself. Well, when did you start your business?
So the business has just celebrated its 2-year anniversary.
So in 2023? 2024?
Yeah, 23.
Okay.
In January of 20, it was right around Thanksgiving. So yeah, 2023. And then you have this span of time like that to put a timeline as we're talking about my discovering Pandora, like to put a timeline. Right now,
it's gonna be a new inside joke, bro.
Right now, right? The business is just over 2 years old. And then there was a time, probably about a 4-year span, when I had made that big life change.
I just shook it off.
Right? No, you're gonna be sleeping. You're gonna be waking up, cracking up in your sleep.
Pandemic, Pandora.
Yeah,
no,
right?
but
what are y'all talking about? Who cares about COVID? Look, you got a music app. Do you know what a music app is?
I just tell it what kind of music I like, and it plays these
I can
random
talk to my
songs.
family on Facebook. What are you talking about? Yeah.
What would you tell yourself to that day one Ty's Guilt-Free Pies?
Get on that Instagram.
That's what you would have said?
Something along those lines.
That's smart.
I'm sure I would have a lot to say. And don't get me wrong, when I started this, the guy that helped me design my fancy banner back here, he was a family friend, and of course I need a logo, I need all these things that I'm not thinking about. I'm just gonna go bake pies at my house and sell them at Ram. That's what I'm gonna do. You don't think about all these other moving pieces that exist. And he luckily he's actually worked for my grandfather's company, and he does marketing.
That's honestly one of my favorite parts of being a business owner myself. Sometimes it's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
So many people will teach you way more. I couldn't pay for the knowledge I've gathered from people like you and just other people you meet. So it's honestly beautiful that the guy who made this for you also got you jump started with the social media game. Because we met through TikTok, Instagram, or another business owner.
Yeah, you had done. That's when I had a few news appearances, and I had seen you pop up on Pico Princess's feed.
Oh
And
yes,
then
I forgot about
I
that.
needed somebody for behind the scenes.
That's
and
right.
I randomly reached out to you on either TikTok or Instagram.
Social media.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
It's the way, and it's I mean, in terms of being a small business owner, that's what I would tell my younger small business self, dude, get on social media right now. Learn everything you can possibly learn about social media because, and the guy, he told me, I'm like, don't I need like a website? He's like, just use Instagram as your website.
No, facts. The Instagram will do just as much, if not better. Because I have like a lot of followers on TikTok and I get more business through Instagram than on TikTok. It doesn't make sense.
I was telling a guy just today, and he's now breeding tilapia, I guess is his new thing.
That's so crazy.
He's an older guy, and he got the Meta glasses. He's so excited.
Tilapia farm.
Yeah, so but it's a guy I've known for a while, and I was telling him.
I want to meet him.
I was giving him the breakdown, and I was like, telling him because now I know about social media, and
I love tilapia.
I'm like, dude, and he's telling me, he's like, I'm gonna go on Facebook Live, and I'm like, no, dude, you gotta go on Instagram. In terms of
Fish farm.
right, fish farm on Facebook Live, but and he's learning about AI. I turned him on to the AI. It's hilarious.
He's like, this is awesome. It's
yeah,
like you and Pandora.
It is precisely. That's exactly what it is.
Everyone in the comments, put a Pandora during the pandemic.
Yeah, Pandora pandemic. We'll hashtag it. We'll start hashtagging it, right?
Put a little insider joke. If you made it this far in the episode, let me know by putting.
I think we're pretty entertaining, I mean, geez. Social media is important, and Instagram, you were just making that point. Instagram is where business is at. Like in terms of building a small business, like in connecting with people, Instagram is where it's at. I tell people about the news, like the actual appearance on the news is not where people are, the real value comes in the behind the scenes footage.
This is the news. This is the news for the people, by the people.
Right.
So what does it mean to you when people choose to support your business?
It means a lot, for sure. I mean, and that's everything. And the word of mouth and other people telling about you. And one thing that I am, the people.
We're looking at you.
The people. And that's one thing is, I try to incorporate is the kids. Like, I want moms. That's one thing I've been adamant about. And that's why because I was actually the blueberry pie that we were talking about, the moms that feed their kids the blueberry pies. My first thought for a commercial was actually a mom feeding the kid the blueberry pie. So because by supporting me, you're also supporting good health in the universe, because that's what this is designed for, is to try to let people eat something that's good and delicious, but also be good for them. And then if you're supporting me, then you're giving it to your kids, because now we're fighting diabetes, we're fighting inflammation, we're fighting the country,
no doubt,
the pandemic that is, chronic disease in this country, and it ties a lot into refined sugars and processed foods.
Sugar feeds sickness. That's one thing I know. When I get sick, I try to stay away from sugar, and I mentioned it earlier in the episode. I don't get sick often, but I got pretty down bad a few weeks, maybe even months ago. And I could not eat. I felt like absolute booty cheeks, y'all. Opened my freezer, had a tiny appetite to one of these. I ate the entire thing. It was so good. I thought maybe I told him, I went to the next market, the next week. I was like, dude, I was so sick. I ate one of your pies and it quite literally revived me. I was like, what do you put in there? Because you can feel, excuse my French, but you could feel the fucking difference in that. That was the only thing I ate all day, y'all. And it made me feel so much better. It gave me the right nutrients my body needed.
Nutrient dense.
Yeah.
And the irony is I'm pretty sure that's the time you came down the ramp. And I'm pretty sure whatever you had about 2 or 3 days later, I had it too.
I gave it to him.
Yeah, definitely gave it to me. And we picked it up at the news station, whatever it was. But
No, honestly, probably.
yeah,
There's a lot of people go in and out that thing.
yeah. But I had several of my pies, and I eat them. I always eat one from each batch for quality control. And I had the same thing, and I went and bought soup, and I was exhausted, and I was sick, and I had a headache, and like I went for the same thing, the triple berry goat cheese pie, and I ate it, and it was like the one thing that I ate.
And I don't even like goat cheese, y'all, but it was perfect. I didn't even know what I needed, but it did the trick.
That's what we were talking about. That pie is a healthy diet that worked for me.
I still don't know if I like goat cheese, by the way, but I will eat it in his pies. Let's
Yeah.
just say that.
Goat cheese gets a bad rap, but it can be very pungent. The way that I use it, it's more of a texture thing.
My next question for you is, how important is it for the community to support you? Like when somebody spends their hard-earned money here. When I'm gonna say that again. When people spend their hard-earned money here, what do you want them to know?
And that is too because
And here.
and here, yeah, because
There. Like wrong side for the heart. Wherever your heart is.
But it is. It does touch my heart because you were talking about that and the importance of small business and how I can go somewhere and I can get a little frozen dessert somewhere at Walmart.
Yeah.
And of course, the ingredients are not going to be the same, and that's what makes it tricky. Because me and my infinite wisdom, I'm going to make eating healthy.
Let's use that as an example. One of my favorite pies at Walmart is one of them stupid little Marie Calendar $10 frozen pies. How much are your pies?
So these are 9 single pies are 9, or I do 3 for 25.
So when people see a pie, so the Marie Calendars that are a little bigger than this are only $1 more expensive. So when you're in the grocery store and you're shopping, you're somebody like me, you're on a budget, it's easy to get wrapped up in what's the better bang for my buck. And this is what I want this podcast here to do, is to show you the face, the heart, and so you guys can hear the story behind this. So you spend that extra $1, $2, $3, or you just get a pie that's a slightly bit smaller. But look at the impact it makes. You're trying to express the importance of putting money back into local business owner pockets and keeping it into your local ecosystem.
And you know me, I'm a big fan of the business ecosystem, and it is, and the secret ingredient is TLC, tender love and care. And apparently the universe designed a product for me that is very time consuming and also uses some very expensive ingredients. But I'm going to build the brand, right? I'm going to build the brand, and I'm going to make eating healthy, fun, affordable, and delicious. Well, I need machines and everything like that.
Right.
But this ecosystem you were talking about, your favorite, the coffee balls,
Every morning.
a prime example,
Every morning.
is in this energy bite. There's 3 different local businesses. So I use Somersault's her coffee salt. I use Lion's Mane from Harmony Mushrooms. I use locally sourced coffee from Third Wave Coffee Roasters. So, and for me, the importance, and it's not just supporting the local, and for me, when somebody puts their heart and their soul into something, that energy transpires within it, manifests within this. The love, the passion, the dedication.
It's healing.
It's
That pie,
here.
the pie healed me.
These are like tiny, concentrated excellence.
Crack
Look
balls.
at this, like pure little
Come
concentrated
get pies
excellence.
guilt-free crack. And guilt-free is right, because I don't feel bad about it. Not one bit. I don't feel bad about what's in it, and I don't feel bad about it being just for me, okay? Hands off my
It's
pie.
a perfect little personal size. Look at it.
So when you guys are shopping and you're thinking, but I could get a bigger one for $1 cheaper.
Yeah.
But can you get someone's passion supported for literally $1 extra? Support someone's business? No. You can't. It can't be beat.
And you're going to get a lot of not good ingredients either. You can pronounce, I promise you can pronounce all of my ingredients. That's what we say.
Pronounceable.
Pronounceable ingredients. No,
Even I know.
no X's and Y's and Z's in there, all right?
Let's move into some closing questions. How can the community in Jacksonville, especially, support you right now and your business?
So I mentioned I mainly do farmers markets, but we are standing in this fantastic kitchen, 3061 Phillips Highway. It's a whole new world. And come and pick up. I want to establish, because I do markets at the beach, and my beach people, they are supportive, they're loyal, and they're there every weekend, but they do not come across the ditch to save their lives. There has to be an emergency. Well, there's a whole giant group of people around here that want to be healthy, that want to enjoy the love, the passion, the dedication, and all this, and support local businesses, because that's what it's all about. I can use this location, 3061 Phillips Highway, as a pickup whenever. You see my freezers are over there. I do not go far, I promise you. These little things are very time consuming. I'm in here all the time. As long as I'm here, you can come by, stop by, message me on Facebook and Instagram, whatever. Come see me, and I will be here. If I'm not here, I will come. I live about 10 minutes away. So you can come by here anytime. That's going to make the difference in the Healthy Pie experience, is people coming here to pick up during the week.
And he's not lying. Look at these freezers.
The freezers are right there.
Look at these freezers. He's not lying. And if you're someone like me, you don't like to cross a Buckman, blah, 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 blah. Anytime you're in or on Phillips Highway in this area up here, hit this guy up. Hell, hit me up.
I always got the goods. We got slinging them out. And I'm telling you right now, too, everything's frozen. I don't use any preservatives. So you can stock up. If you see this podcast, if you are a viewer and you see that this beautiful young lady right here led you to me, and you message me on Instagram, or you come to the market as a result of what she does, believe you and me, I will hook you up.
Hell.
I'm a haggling fool.
Hell.
I am a haggling fool. We're going to do it. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, follow me. And this is going to be, we're speaking this into existence in the very moment right now. This is what we do.
Okay, I'm
The
listening.
Wubs discount.
Whoa.
The Wubs
discount.
The Wubs discount.
Yes, if you tell them I sent you, you know what they say, if it's free, it's for me. If you tell them I sent you, you going to get something in return.
You're going to get hooked
Trust
up.
and believe. You're going to get the hookup.
Friends and family discount.
If you listen this far in this podcast, you deserve the hookup, okay? All right, so last question, most important question. This is going to be the question that I asked the first all the way to the last business owner. All right, so this is the infamous question that I'm going to ask at the end of every episode with a guest. From the first to the last is going to be the question that is going to get the pass. If there's somebody listening right now who's scared to start, the same way you were, the same way I was, what would you tell them?
Just do it. Follow your inspiration. Look for the signs in the realm unseen that we are talking about. And if you're seeing these signs, if your intuition is telling you to do it, do it. Don't anticipate what's going to happen. I was thinking about that. I'm telling you right now. I put this on my personal Facebook the other day, right? You can't think about the what ifs.
That's true.
Don't live in the past. None of that. Just do it. Things are going to happen. Perseverance is built through trials and tribulations. It's a part of the growing process. Every single one of my recipes, the embodiment of Ty's Guilt-Free Pies is tiny, happy little mistakes. Things that I think things are going wrong, because everything's tiny and happy in the Healthy Pie experience. Things that I think are going wrong that turn out to be some sort of revelation. So don't let fear get in the way.
Or else we'll get you.
Hey, look, fear knocked on the door, faith answered, nobody was there.
Kick that up open. Let's go. Well, Ty, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. Thank you for inspiring me to start my podcast. Thank you for being my first guest ever.
Yeah.
And more importantly, thank you for trusting me with your story. Because I know you said you've done the news and all this stuff, but I don't know if you've ever allowed people to...
Yeah, this is pretty in-depth.
Yeah.
This is long-form content, which we're both trying to think about. So this is only the beginning right here. This is just.
You're gonna see a lot more of this, okay?
Yeah, this is just fun. But
And a lot more of this.
And anybody who's still on this and still watching this, thank you. I can't express my gratitude enough. Come see me at the market for sure.
You know what I like to end with? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. From Ty's Guilt-Free Pies and this is the Go There Podcast, episode 4.
Come see us in the kitchen.
Come to the kitchen.